Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello, welcome to today's podcast. I'm currently recording this intro via my laptop, just like I have done for a few previous episodes, bulking it. My kids are outside playing in the pool. We're in Bali at the moment, which is super lovely. Chris is doing some coaching sessions today, so I thought I'd do a little bit of work today as well. Currently getting some podcasts ready for our team member Jerson to edit, hence why I'm on my laptop, so audio might not be as awesome as what it usually is, and if you're watching on YouTube, I am just on my laptop camera, but stick with me because in a few moments we'll get to the main episode and the audio will be much better when we get there. So today we have another live coaching session. Chris coaches the very brave Kristen on our podcast, and this is a very raw, honest, vulnerable session that he has today. Kristen, we haven't worked with Kristen before, so she's new to transformational coaching in the way that we do it inside our Ending Body Burnout method. And so this session was really helping her to unpack perfectionism patterns that are driving her burnout and overwhelm and keeping her stuck in cycles of self-doubt. So this live coaching session, although Chris and Kristen don't reach a resolution with the problem, there's a lot more awareness around why she has such a strong inner critic and where to go next in terms of taming it, reprogramming it, rewiring it so that she can unravel these burnout patterns that are keeping her stuck and not well. So it is a rare honor to listen to a very personal coaching session. So I want to say a very big thank you to Kristen for allowing us to publish this episode. And also, as you're listening, please hold some virtual space for Kristen as she very honestly, very vulnerably unpacks some of these deeper core issues that she has been struggling with for 40 plus years. You might even find yourself resonating with some of the struggles or beliefs or insights that come out of this conversation. And if your heart is resonating with this style of holistic root cause healing, and you are done with Band-Aid and management approaches that just Band-Aid the core issue, that just manage your symptoms, and you're ready for real and long-lasting solutions, guess what? Our Ending Body Burnout method is open at the moment, but we do close doors tomorrow on Tuesday. So if you have been wanting to come and join us to really deeply not just support the physical body, yes, we're going to do lab testing and if appropriate therapeutic supplements, lifestyle medicine, but the real healing happens when we get to the root cause, which then allows your body systems to heal. So doors are open. I would love to invite you to come and jump in. If your heart is saying yes, even if you're scared, just do it. Just take that brave first step and everything will start coming to fruition for you as you go through the method steps. Also, if you want to get coached on the podcast, we do have an application form in the show notes as well, where you can apply to come on the podcast for a live root cause coaching session. So feel free to pop your name down, share a bit about what's going on for you. And if it aligns with what we talk about on the podcast, we will reach out to you for a coaching session. All right, so let's get into today's episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. I have with us today Kristen, and we are going to do a coaching call together, live coaching call. So, Kristen, thanks so much for your bravery, your vulnerability, and welcome to the show, but also welcome to the coaching call hot seat for the next little bit.
Thanks, Chris.
Big hello. So just so we get a frame, would you like to just say a little bit about who you are? Let's go. How old are you? What do you do? And where in the world you are? How's that sound? See if you remember that.
Sounds good. So I am turning 41 in a couple of weeks. I'm located in Mackay, and I am currently studying full-time, doing 2 advanced diplomas in natural health and full-time stay at home with my 3 kids.
Yeah. Cool. And what's your age range of your kids?
My eldest is 10.
Yeah.
And my youngest is 4, and my middle boy is 7.
Yeah. Cool.
There's 3 years between all of them. Yeah.
That's neat. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not so much when they're fighting.
Wait, did you say you said boys? Is that?
I have 2 boys and a girl.
2 boys.
So my youngest is a girl.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine the dynamic in that.
Oh yes, yes. My eldest boy and my little girl are like 2 peas in a pod, and my poor middle boy he's the complete opposite, both in looks and in attitude and everything. It's quite the dynamic.
I love it.
God love them.
Okay. So I was just reading your note, and I'll just read what your intention was for our call. So you were looking at your perfectionism, high achiever attitude. The more you think about it, the more I find there's underlying issues around your own self-worth and acceptance, probably stemming from childhood. It's hard to address it all. I know, but you find yourself being reactive to your kids, struggling to not get overwhelmed because of your high standards. And yeah, so in addition to that, or instead of that, is there anything that you would like to get out of our time today?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much the crux of it. Every area of my life, whenever I think about what my major hurdles are, it always seems to just come back to the standards that I set for myself. And that's everything. That's health, that's exercise, that's study, that's the kids. It's literally every area of my life. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so what did you say? You said they are high achieving, perfectionism, probably pick that up, in the past. But can we focus on a little bit more what you mean by the standards that you set for yourself? Like, what are they? What are we talking about?
Okay, so the most recent example that I can give you is I just completed my end of semester exams last week.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Yeah, one more down. So in the 4 years that I've been studying, I've managed to maintain a high distinction for all of my subjects until last semester. And last semester, I ended up with 3 high distinctions and a credit. And despite the whole C's get degrees and, all of that mindset, the credit kind of overshadows the fact that I succeeded so well in the other areas. So for me, that's not sufficient. And I felt like I let myself down, which then obviously fed into my whole thought process of, why am I doing this? Am I going to be good enough to do this? Who am I to sit here and get a credit and not be able to link the information that I've learned? I've been studying for 4 years. I should know this information by now. And just the constant beration of, why didn't you do better? But in the same breath, I was also 4 weeks behind in my study. So I didn't even complete all of the lectures that I was supposed to do. So it was relative to the information that I had on hand at the time. The outcome that I got was appropriate, but it's just, I let myself down because I didn't apply myself this semester as much as I should have, because of other things that were going on in the background with family. And I let that overwhelm me, and I let that become the focus, which then detracted from my ability to be able to focus on my study, which then in turn obviously had a knock-on effect for my results.
Yeah. So you were focusing on your, is it what you just said? You focused on your family and the stuff that was going on in the background. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So 2 or 3 weeks into the semester, we ended up going to visit my parents, and I have a bit of a, like, I wouldn't say tumultuous relationship with them, but it's not a super healthy relationship with them, let's put it that way. So there was a lot of pressure as I was growing up in my childhood, because I have siblings, but I was basically an only child because there's a big age gap between me and the next one. So all the focus was on me as a kid, and there was that expectation for perfectionism as a kid. And particularly being an ex-ballet dancer as well, everything was about performance, right? So it's all about, you build up, you prepare, all the prior preparation. If you don't do the prior preparation, then you're going to let yourself down. And that was a very, very big thing growing up. So it was kind of almost ingrained in me from the age of 4. And while I try to leave that behind in my daily life with my family, and I try not to obviously let that come through, and I've done a lot of work to try and set that aside and lower my standards and expectations for myself, whenever I return home, I revert back to that, like, automatic childhood response. And I know I do it, I'm quite conscious of it, but because we were down there and we were dealing with that, and I had a few conversations with them around my study, which didn't go as well as I'd hoped, that sort of played on my mind a lot. So I was very focused on the feedback that I'd got from them instead of focusing on my uni, which is what I should have been doing.
Yeah. Sure. So how is that a problem? That you focused on them, or like, I know the results happen, but why is this a problem for you?
Because I spend a lot of time and energy trying to justify myself, I suppose, or it's not even necessarily getting the tick of approval, because I know I'm never going to get the tick of approval, but there's probably still a part of me that is waiting for the recognition that I'm actually doing something worthwhile and I'm actually doing something beneficial, as opposed to the constant, well, you're spending all this money to do what exactly? Like, it's a ridiculous course that you're doing, and you're wasting your time doing it, and you're never going to earn that money back, even if you go into private practice. And yeah.
Okay. So you got some themes and thoughts and beliefs, and they're in there. So if you just take a moment and just have a think, because we can dig into something really, really profound and wonderful that can help you out, but I want to make sure that whatever we dig into is like something that's worth digging into. Like it's not a superficial thing.
Yeah.
Intuitively, after saying all of that, you've talked about your relationship with your parents, you've talked about your standards that you set for yourself, health, study, kids. What do you feel like is the problem?
Probably being caught in the cycle of core beliefs that I was raised with that don't necessarily align with my core beliefs now. So because part of me because I spent so much of my life on stage, I created this habit of probably hiding behind a persona. And that persona was based upon what I thought people wanted, as opposed to being true to who I actually was. And I think there's probably still a misalignment now, particularly because I've got kids. So, you have kids and they're just like a little mirror of yourself. And all of a sudden you realize that, yeah, no, this parenting gig is actually really freaking hard. And as much as I berated my parents for the shit job that they did, like they actually probably did the best that they could. But then you also look at the way that you were raised too, and you realize the way that you would do things differently, and it doesn't always align with the way that you were raised. So it kind of causes a bit of a divide in me, because as much as I want to create my own core belief system that aligns with my family now, I struggle to sever that and separate it from my own childhood and my own upbringing, because it's so heavily ingrained in me, because I literally spent 21 years of my life living with my parents and then moved in with my husband, and I've been with him for 21 years. It's literally split straight down the middle. And then and trying to separate the two is really, really hard. And the more that I think about what I want my family to look like as a unit, the more it realizes it's so far from what I had as a child and the family unit that I grew up with, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's confronting, and it's difficult to try and work around that and not be influenced, I suppose.
Yeah. Of course. So that's where you're at. What do you want? What do you want instead? Instead of that.
I would like my children not to be disappointed in me. At the crux of it, that's pretty much what it is. I don't want my kids to get to my age and think, yeah, nah, she could have done better. She could have done so much better, and she just didn't. And then in line with that, I also want my kids to understand that the expectations that are put on them from people around them should not dictate their choices in life, because they'll be very unhappy if they let that happen.
Okay. This is really interesting. They contradict.
It's my middle name.
So on one hand, you want to have your kids think my mum could have done, not think, you want them to not think my mum could have done so much better. You want them to, I mean, that's what you don't want. So what do you want? You want them to think what do you want your kids to think?
I want them to be proud of us as a family. I can't even just say me as a mum, because I want them to grow up and have non-toxic relationships with each other and with me and my husband, so that they can be proud of the family unit that they have grown up in. I don't want them to be ashamed of where they've come from and how they were raised, essentially.
So you don't want them to be ashamed. What do you want them to be?
Proud.
Proud. Yeah.
Happy. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, okay. So, and what do you want to do? Like to have that pride, that proudness or pride, whatever, that and happy and non-toxic relationship with each other and you and your husband, and to be proud of you guys as a family. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to choose to do?
My automatic response to that is anything. But that's a mother's response, right? That's not a logical response. That's just a mother's response. But I spend a lot of my time sacrificing myself for the sake of the family, which we all do. That's what we do when we have kids. It's just it's an innate thing, right? But I want to be able to do that without them feeling any undertone of resentment towards them, which at times there is resentment because of the fact that I bust my ass every day. And while that's my choice, there are times where it feels like it's taken for granted, which they're kids. That's what they do. They're inherently selfish, right? They don't.
How is it a problem for you that you bust your ass every day? You know, it's your choice, of course. But how is it a problem that you feel like they take it for granted? You know, how might that be a problem?
So there's a part of me that, this is where my contradictions come in, right? Because I think one thing, but then I say another, and it just, as a parent, there's a part of me that it's my job to teach them to understand gratitude. And I feel like at times I probably am not the best example of that. I probably don't voice it as much as I would like. I'm an oversharer, but I'm selective in what I share. I never get beyond a surface level because it's too hard.
Good job.
It's too confronting.
Okay. Well, what's the insight? The insight here. Okay, you've on one hand, let's talk about the other thing you said. I want to teach my kids that the expectations of others should not dictate their choices. And then on the other hand, you are basing your choices on the expectations of others.
Yep.
And you want to set an example. You want to be an example. You want to show the way, teach, guide, help them to understand. But you're basing your life on the expectations of others, albeit your kids, your parents.
Yeah, not my parents, but my kids 100%, definitely.
Yeah.
Because when I had my kids, I quit work, right? So I was at the height of my career. I'd finally founded what I had finally discovered what I wanted to do. And we were told we couldn't have kids. So we'd already made the conscious decision that we were just going to be double income, no kids, and live the life and have a big house and a big boat and, all the good stuff. And then the morning of my 30th birthday, I found out I was pregnant, and that was pretty much just like an entire life flip, because I suddenly realized that the career that I was in actually didn't matter squat, and I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't like it, and I'd just fallen into it because it was there and it was convenient and it paid well. And when I looked at going back at the end of maternity leave, I remember saying to my husband, I can't walk into that place every single day and do that job knowing that I then have to come home and look after my kids. I was in health and safety, and I used to do incident investigation and rehab return to work. So it was quite intense, like what I was dealing with. And I just said to him, I can't be a mother and deal with all of that on top of it, because something will end up breaking. And I don't want that. So then I had to refocus myself, and I spent, essentially the better part of 6 years investing myself in my kids. And then I kind of went through like another midlife crisis then after my youngest had been born. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm done having kids. Now what? What's next? Like, I'm not having any more. I'm too old. So now what do we do? And I suddenly realized I didn't actually know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what was important to me other than my kids and my husband. They're literally the only things that matter. And my husband works away Monday to Friday. So he's only home on a Saturday, Sunday. And he has done that for pretty much the 21 years that we've been together. So at some point, he needs to be home. At some point, he needs to be able to spend time with our children, because he's missing out on the formative years, which we had the discussions around all of it, and how it's more important for me to be home because I'm the mother, and, secure attachment, all of that sort of stuff. But he still misses them. So for me to be able to enable him to be home more, it means that I have to be able to supplement that income. And to do that, it means that I've got to be earning good money. So I sort of decided that, well, I could probably do something in the health area, and it's an interest of mine. So why not go with that? So that's why I've chosen it. And I love it. But I don't know if it's enough.
Enough for what? Enough, like money, are you talking, or time, or what are you talking about?
I don't know if it will be enough to be able to have him home with the kids more and to be able to allow us the flexibility and freedom in future. Because we want to be able to spend time together as a family unit, which we do the best that we can at the moment, but looking 10 years ahead, right? When our youngest is 14, sorry. Once they're old enough for us to be able to travel and do all of those things where they can actually appreciate it and absorb it. And I know they do when they're younger, but having traveled myself when I was younger, teenage years, you just absorb so much more, right? So that's a really important thing for us, is to be able to spend that time together without the stress of having to worry about my husband going back to work. Well, it's Monday, he's got to go back to work. We want to be able to build that flexibility for our future so that we're not confined by the 9 to 5. We're not forced to have him working away. And I just don't know whether I'm good enough to be able to make that happen. Because it's never enough, right?
You're telling the story. You know, maybe. Yeah, it sounds like you think that. Not enough.
It's not.
Not enough money. Not enough time.
Not
connection.
enough time. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the problem if you don't have enough money? What's the problem if you don't have enough time? What's the problem if you don't have enough husband, dadness?
Well, that's why we're here, right?
No,
it's for that connection and for that family.
Don't bring me into it. Talk about yourself.
No, I meant us as people.
Oh,
as humans.
gotcha. Well, don't bring other people into it either. Like, we're not talking about humans. We're talking about Kristen. You know, this is you. This is all about you. So let's bring it into you, because there's too many people to talk about everybody. Why is it a problem for you?
Because the biggest thing that I want is to be able to spend the time with my family. And I feel like I'm chasing my tail 24/7 to do that, but we never get anywhere with it. I feel trapped in the system.
That you made. That you're running.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so not enough time, not enough money, not enough husband present connection, something around that. What would you say? Yeah.
Yeah, connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we have good connection when we're around each other. We just physical time together.
Quantity yes. of time. Yeah. I don't know if I'm clear. I don't know if I'm 100% clear. I couldn't stand on a stage and give a speech onto why this is a problem for you. I don't think I could do that just yet. And I don't know if you've articulated that to me,
probably
to
not.
my dumb ears.
Probably not.
That was self-deprecating, but
it was very
to my ears. I don't know if you've been plain and blunt enough about, like, why is this an issue? Hey, can I get your permission, Kristen, to just do a little pokey, just like
Yeah,
just
sure.
speak really bluntly, and I'm just basically I'm trying to get a rise out of you is what I'm about to do. Is that okay?
Sure. Come
Who
at me.
who cares? Who cares if your husband's not home? Who cares if your kids don't like you? Who cares if you don't have enough money? Who cares if you don't have enough time? Who cares if you get credits? Who cares if you fail? Who cares about uni? Who cares about your house? Who cares? I see your beautiful dogs. They're really cute running behind you. Who cares about your dogs? Who cares about learning? Who cares about a career?
I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is the Kristen show. This is why we're here, right?
All right.
I care.
I love it. Okay, now just connect with that. Just take a moment because that's the honest truth of it. You care. We're not talking about anybody else. You care. Just really feel that. Allow that to hit you. The weight of it, the pressure of it. That's it. Don't do anything with it. Just let it hit you. Now, if you didn't have that, if you didn't achieve that, if you don't have any of that, why is that an issue for you? A problem?
Because then I potentially lose everything I care about. And I can't do that.
What would it mean about you if you lost everything? What would that say about you?
That I wasn't worthy in the first place to have it. Because I didn't work hard enough for it.
And if you weren't worthy and if you didn't work hard enough for it, what would that mean about you? What would you say about yourself? The honest truth, the honest.
What's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. What's the point? Yeah, what is the point? If you're not worthy in the first place, what's the point in trying? You don't have to answer that. Because here's the thing, this worthiness thing that you've got, this fear that I'm not worthy enough. You gave a rule just before. It's I'm not worthy, so I have to work hard enough to prove to everybody else that I am worthy and to fool them into thinking that I am worthy because everybody knows that I'm actually not worthy, and heaven forbid that if they find that out, man, what's the point? I'm screwed. You'll fight, push, win, just to prove and to protect you from the judgment of others. But every time you go in the bathroom, I suspect, if you're like me and you got a mirror in the bathroom, every time you go in the bathroom, you're faced with judgment, face to face with your biggest critic.
100%.
Yeah.
and I know it.
Yeah.
And the issue is that it doesn't matter how much I try and talk myself down off of the ledge, I will still have that deprecating, self-deprecating inner voice that will just beat me down every time.
Yeah.
Not strong enough, not fit enough, not skinny enough, not smart enough, not influential enough.
Mm.
I talk a good game.
You have to. You have to. You'd be screwed. You'd be stuffed. Man. Because then everyone will see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The truth according to you.
Correct.
They'll see it your way. So you do anything to hide. You're you're wrapped in a blanket, a comfy blanket that looks like a cape. Imagine you as a super Wonder Woman with your cape on, and you're just hiding behind that Superwoman cape. You're pretending to be this Superwoman, or you are being that Superwoman just to hide the your truth of I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not influential enough, I'm not wealthy or rich enough, or whatever it is. Don't have enough money. I mean, what if that was true? What would that feel like if you weren't fit enough, skinny enough, smart enough, influential enough, wealthy enough? What if that was actually true?
I don't even know.
It's probably scary, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I'm terrified of flying, for the record, so you won't see me with a cape flying through the sky.
Nice. You
But no, it's the fear, right? It's the fear that is all consuming.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, my favorite questions are from Byron Katie. I don't know if you know who she is. I use these every now and then, but just think about it. What's your biggest fear?
So I automatically, my brain says one thing, but then it tries to correct it.
Oh yeah. What are they both?
Because because in my mind, as a mother, right, the first thing I'm like, my biggest fear should be losing my kids. But that's not the first thing that comes to my mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is my biggest fear is losing my husband.
Yeah. Oof. Okay.
Because
And
he is literally my gravity. He's the only thing that keeps me grounded.
okay. So that's kind of important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So losing your husband is a big fear for you because his gravity keeps you grounded. What would be the problem? Let's do some digging there. What's the problem if you lost your husband?
Because he's the only person in my entire life who's ever seen me as worthy.
Why is that a problem?
Because if he's gone, then nobody thinks I'm worthy, including myself, which, as we've already ascertained, I don't necessarily 100% believe it anyway. But then if I'm not worthy, then who am I to raise my kids? Who am I to try and help people get better? Who am I to help people try and find a healthier way of living?
That's a lot of pressure your husband's got from you.
Yeah. Not that I tell him that.
Or
But
the meaning of communication is the response that you give. All behavior is communication. So you've been telling him that for a long time.
yeah,
Just maybe not with words. Well, if he listens to this podcast, he's going to be like, I knew it.
he's hoping he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll have to research how to do like geo blocking or something like that. Just make sure everyone in your area doesn't. Okay, so worthiness. Let's bring the attention from your husband back to you for a bit around worthiness. Is it true? Are you not worthy?
I am. But if you ask me why, I can't tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't believe it.
Yeah. So can you absolutely know that it's true that you're not worthy?
No.
No. All right. So how do you react? What's your natural reaction when you believe that thought that you're not worthy? When you believe you're not worthy, what's your reaction? What's your natural reaction?
You give up.
I do.
Or I do anyway. I do.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like I didn't do as well at uni this semester. Because of one comment that was made, and I took it on board and I ran with it. And that comment then basically fed into my bullshit story that I feed myself that I'm not worthy. So then I was like, well, then what's the point? Why am I doing this? So I gave up.
Yeah. Okay. And who would you be? Who would you be if you didn't have that thought?
It would still be me, just probably be a slightly different version. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more optimistic.
Okay, cool. What's that look like? What's that part of you look like?
Somebody who's not bound by expectations placed on me by others. Or no, sorry, let me rephrase that. Somebody who's not bound by expectations of others that I take on board and place on myself.
Yeah, and so somebody who doesn't do that, what kind of person is that?
Somebody who doesn't take expectations on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody who doesn't get in their own head like me, obviously. I don't know.
Yeah. So someone who doesn't get in their head, cool. So if they're not in their head, like if you could be that person who doesn't get in their head, what's the upside of that? What's the good? What good would come of that?
Well, there'd be no blockages. I don't think I would have. They would. would be no limitations.
No limitations. All right. And if you had no limitations and you felt like you could do anything, what's something that you could, I don't know, like say about yourself instead of I'm not worthy, I have to, I need to. You know, like if you could do anything and be anything with no expectation, what could you? What's something empowering and nice that you could say about yourself?
Language warning.
Go for it.
I'm fucking awesome.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Feel that hit you. Just allow yourself, just take a moment to feel that. Just let that land. Notice if there's any sort of resistance or charge. And just let that hit you. Let that land in you. Because a part of you wants that. A part of you believes that.
Yes.
Am I right in saying there's probably a part of you that doesn't believe that as well at the moment?
There's a part of me that says, who am I to say that? It's not that I don't want to believe it. It's just that I have that. Yeah, but you're not.
Mm.
Who are you to say that about yourself? You self-righteous, full of yourself.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So what are some little things that you can do when you feel like that you're full of yourself, you know, or you feel the expectations of others? Like what's something really little that you can do to just pause, stop, and connect with fucking awesome and less about I'm not worthy? What's something little that you can just do to connect with the more empowering thought about yourself?
I honestly don't know because I've spent so long quashing that voice that I don't even know how to embrace it. I don't even know how to allow it space because the automatic response is so ingrained in me that I say the words I'm fucking awesome, then it immediately comes in, who are you to say that? And I'm already 5 or 6 depths down before I suddenly catch myself and go, why are you doing that?
Mm.
But by that point, it's already happened, right?
Yeah. So now we only do what works, and all our behaviors, even the dysfunctional ones, serve us. So that thinking, self-deprecating, you know, you've got this empowering thought that a part of you wants to believe, does believe, but then you've got this I'm not worthy thought and all these other cascade of other thoughts that come through to you. those are protective mechanisms. Some way, somehow, those thoughts, those anxieties, those fears, they serve you in some way, shape, or form. And what I would do with you if you're my client is I would start to untangle the hold that those things have on you. I would get you to journal where this all started, the backstories. I would look at meanings you make about yourself, about these significant emotional events that have happened in the past that led you to believe this. You know, if you that's I don't. Do you know about the I don't know about what the name of the psychologist is, but he put dogs on it was a horrific experiment. He put dogs on a electric floor. And have you ever heard this one? It's about learned helplessness. No. So the dogs would go to get the food and they would get electric shocks. It was awful, really awful. And so they would retreat and they'd run away. And then they would go to get their food and they would get shocked and they'd run away. And in the end, the scientists would put the food down and say, come and get your dinner. And the dogs just wouldn't even do it because there's no point. So they would stay and they would just get starved. Off rubbish. What a evil, right? The most horrific experiment. But what we've learnt about that is that we do that in life. We learn helplessness and there's no point. And we just shrink and we retreat. And so to protect themselves, the dogs would just not do anything, even giving up food, of which both you and I know as dog owners, like that's an instinct that's very hard to, that's a very dog thing.
Absolutely. Particularly with dash hounds.
Okay, where was I going with that? You have a learned helplessness that to protect you, to protect myself, I have to believe this about myself, or I've got no other choice but to believe I'm like this. It's helpless to believe any other way. And I've got to work so hard to prove that I am good enough. I've got to work so damn hard. Yep.
Hit the nail on the head.
Boom. What happened? You started getting teary. What was that?
Probably because I can point to the exact moments in my life where all of that attributed to and culminated in that thought process. And in my logical brain, none of it was in my control. And it was from people taking liberties. Mm-hmm. And me not recognizing it because I was too young to process that their behavior was not the way that people should behave. Mm-hmm. Degrading comments and statements and behaviors, and it wasn't even just one particular area. There was multiple different areas from multiple different people. So it makes it harder. Maybe it doesn't, but coming from different sources and not coming from the one source, it's a lot harder to try and reframe that. in my brain, because if it was just one person, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's that person. It was their problem that they had, and they treated me in a way that was not humane or kind, or whatever word you want to put in there. It was not nice behavior. But because it wasn't just the one person, because it was multiple different people over multiple different times of my life, it's very hard to reframe that as then it being, well, it was everyone else. Because I don't play the blame game. I'm not the type of person who says, well, it's not my fault. It's their fault that that happened. And I would rather take the blame on myself to try and justify what happened to me, as opposed to seeing it for what it is, because I should have known better. And I should have been able to see through it. And I wasn't smart enough to see through it. And I wasn't clued in enough to see through it. So there's no one to blame but myself. And because of that, that's what makes me unworthy. That's what makes me tell myself that I'm not awesome. Because it's been proven many, many, many times that I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's a bitter pill to swallow.
I have a parachute for you to like come down to earth for a sec. Okay. What kind of car do you drive?
A soccer mum car, Pajero.
Beautiful.
Big
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Big bull bar.
All right. A big bull bar Pajero. Have you ever seen any of them around town, around Mackay?
Heaps.
Heaps. Yeah. Look,
Heaps.
I bet you if you were to go shopping for I don't know, something else, like a 2025 model something, a new one. I bet you'd find, like, you start Googling it, you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you start noticing them everywhere. You're like, oh, there's that.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, that's your reticulated activating system. I think RAS, reticulated activating system, or reticulating activated. Forget. RAS. The part of your brain that looks for evidence, looks for proof. So right now, you have tuned your brain to notice many things. One of the things is proof of enoughness. You're an enough proving system. Like, you've got this going on. You are looking for it everywhere. Your grades, the words that people speak, the looks people give you, the lots of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there was a first time you started believing that you're not enough. There was a first time. And there was a second and a third and a fifth and a 100th and a 200th. And now you're starting to notice it everywhere you go. So now, just like I was talking, far out, I can't even remember the name of the car. What did you say? Pajero? You said Pajero. Yeah. Yeah. So let's just say you wanted to change to, I don't know, like a 79 series, or, a Land Cruiser, or something like that. You wanted to make a switch, or heaven forbid, you got a Mitsubishi Triton, you know. Whatever happened, you'd start noticing it everywhere. So what my invitation to you would be is, what you need to do now is stop looking for proof of am I worthy, yes or no, and start looking for something else. Start looking for proof that you're awesome. Start looking for proof that, well, what does awesome actually mean? It means something to you. Awesome has a meaning. So I would define that if I was you. Try and find out what that actually means to you. And then start looking for that. Start looking for proof and evidence that, oh, gee whiz, you know what? I am awesome at tying my shoes. I am awesome. Did you know what? I even made my own breakfast today. Do you know what? I even brushed my hair and my teeth. Look at me go. The double whammy. I am awesome. If the toddler me could see me now, it would that little girl would believe that I'm just the boss, brushing my own hair, brushing my own teeth. Start accumulating an insurmountable amount of data and evidence that you are awesome. Not just awesome, but beep awesome. And start to doubt the truthfulness of this not enoughness business. Because it's not 100% true. There's a backstory to it, and it makes sense that you believe what you believe, but do you know what I mean? Like it's logical that you are where you are right now. It makes sense that you believe what you believe about yourself. It makes sense. So now you can start untangling that. It starts crumbling down because you've just undermined it. Is this making sense?
It is, yeah. It is. It's just putting it into practice. That's the hard bit, right? And it always is. It's like when you start changing what you're eating, or you start changing going to the gym, or whatever new habit you want to try, or whatever new recurrent theme you want to try and achieve. It's just, it feels really daunting at first, and then eventually you get to a point, I suppose, where it's just second nature.
Yeah, and you've got history. You only say that because you've tried in the past, but you're coming at this from a different point of view now.
Yeah, now that you've framed it the way that you have, because you're right, I have tried in the past to manage it and sort of work through it, but it wasn't framed in quite the same way. So I suppose having that different understanding of it makes it that little bit easier to face it and address it.
Yeah. I still think there's a need for you to dig into the past. We decided we weren't going to go there today, but I think that would be a mission critical job for you to go back there. Absolutely. And rescue your child. That not your child, but you as the child.
My inner child,
yeah. Yeah, you and see, now you've been living your whole life as a little girl with little girl rules. But now you're a big girl, you're still little girl inside, you need to grow up and you want to be an inspiration to your kids. Well, it's time to grow up and become an adult, become a leader, and start thinking about yourself with more empowering thoughts You don't have anything to prove. That's yesterday's news. That's old hat. And now any part of you, and for those people who are listening, the spectators on the fence, who are like, you might be thinking, yeah, but, okay, you got to find the buts, find the obstacles, and just piece by piece, bit by bit, just sort those bits out. You know, there's going to be some buts. There's going to be, yeah, but whatever the heck you say next, yeah, you've got, that's your mission, is to identify those buts and work through them.
Yeah.
That's your mission.
No capes necessary, right?
Well, how's that feel? Do you feel okay? Like we didn't get a resolution in my opinion, of stopping these thoughts, and because I think there's some buts that you've got to work through in the part. But do you feel okay with where we got to today as the work? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm a very if I can logically understand something and apply reasoning to it, then I can manage it. If I can't talk to it, I can't manage it. So realizing that I have this level of perfectionism because I'm trying to prove myself is all good and well. I've known that for a long, long time, but actually understanding where it's coming from and why it's a whole other kettle of fish. And that's just something that we've definitely highlighted today, which is good for me because it gives me a working platform then, right? There's a foundation there that I can then build on.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Love it. All right. Well, can I give you an invite to you've got my phone number. If you've got a little follow-up in a couple of weeks, just let me know how you're going, and you can ask me a question. So reach out, shoot me a text, and I'd be interested to see how things are with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for being vulnerable and coming on. That's super cool.
It's not normally my jam, so yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you though.
Before we pressed record, Kristen was saying that she's not 100% a podcast person. So I appreciate your humility and being here. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Really good chatting with you.
I reckon you'll be a podcast person. You can do it. you can do it.
Maybe
if you want to.
Okay. Have to get over that inner critic first, right?
Yeah, that'll take a minute.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
your
thanks.
guidance for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, and have fun in Mackay in those in this chilly mid-20 degree weather. That's freezing cold.
It is terrible weather.
All right. I love it. All right, Kristen. Take care, and I'll chat to you later.
Thanks, Chris.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.